Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something simple, yet incredibly powerful, something we often overlook in our fast-paced, noise-filled world. It's the power of silence. Silence is one of the most powerful tools at our disposal. In our world today, we are constantly surrounded by noise. The chatter of social media, the rush of daily life, the endless demands on our time and attention, this cacophony can often drown out the most important things. We tend to associate silence with emptiness or inaction, but let me tell you, silence is far from weakness. It's a strength that can be a game changer in your life, especially when you learn how to use it effectively. Think about it for a moment. How often do you find yourself in a conversation, but your mind is elsewhere, distracted by something you read, a conversation you overheard, or something that happened earlier in the day? In those moments, we're not fully engaged with what's important. But silence, true silence, gives us the ability to refocus, to recalibrate, to quiet our minds long enough to truly engage with our deepest thoughts and desires. When you embrace silence, you are opening yourself up to growth, clarity, and understanding. Silence isn't about disengagement, it's about giving yourself the space to reflect, to listen, and to make decisions that are based on what truly matters. And trust me, when you learn to harness the power of silence, you'll find that everything changes. You will become more focused, more aware of your surroundings, and more connected with your purpose. It's in silence that we find the clarity needed to make the right choices, to take the right actions, and to move forward in our lives with confidence and direction. Silence, at its core, is not just about the absence of sound. It's a powerful tool for growth. In our noisy world, we often forget the value of quiet moments. We think that to grow, to move forward, we need to be constantly doing, talking, and striving. But the truth is, some of the most profound growth happens in moments of silence. You see, when we allow ourselves to be silent, we create space for introspection, for deep thinking. In that space, the mind becomes clear, and clarity is the first step towards self-awareness. Without it, we are lost in the noise, overwhelmed by the demands of the world. But in silence, the distractions fade away. It's here that we come face to face with our true selves. How many times have you found that the answers to your questions come to you when you take a moment to pause, reflect, and be still? It's in silence that we reconnect with our inner voice, that inner compass that helps guide us on our journey. When you embrace silence, you allow yourself the chance to really hear your thoughts, your dreams, your doubts, and your desires. You start to uncover parts of yourself you may have ignored or overlooked in the noise of everyday life. It's here in this sacred space that personal growth happens. Silence fosters the kind of self-awareness that leads to real transformation. You can't grow if you're constantly surrounded by external noise. Growth requires stillness, space, and time to reflect and recalibrate. So don't fear silence. Use it as a tool. A tool for clarity, a tool for insight, and a tool for growth. Remember, growth doesn't just happen in the hustle and bustle of life. It happens in the quiet moments of reflection. We often hear the saying, speak less, listen more, but do we really understand the power behind it? There is a reason why listening is such a valuable skill, yet it's one that many of us neglect. In silence, we can truly observe. In our fast-paced world, we are always in a hurry to speak, to share our opinions, and to be heard. But true wisdom doesn't come from constantly talking. It comes from observing and learning from the world around us. When we are silent, we open ourselves up to understanding, to seeing things from a different perspective. Think about the last time you were in a conversation, but you stayed quiet and just listened. What did you learn? You likely gained insights that you would have missed if you were too busy talking. People reveal more about themselves through their actions, their body language, and their tone of voice than they ever do with their words. In silence, we allow ourselves to observe these subtleties, and in doing so, we gain wisdom that cannot be gained through mere conversation. You see, the more you observe, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the better equipped you are to navigate life. Silence gives us the ability to truly understand, to be present, and to become aware of the opportunities and challenges around us. It's in the quiet moments that we can truly hear what others are saying, both with their words and with their actions. When we choose to observe more and speak less, we open the door to deeper knowledge, understanding, and connection. It's not always about what you say, but what you learn when you remain silent and listen. Silence is not just about the absence of noise, it's about controlling your reactions. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with information, distractions, and emotions. It's easy to get caught up in the rush, to react impulsively to everything around us. But silence provides the opportunity to develop self-control. When we choose silence over hasty words, we gain the space to reflect and consider our actions. It's in this silence that we have the chance to pause before reacting, to think before speaking, and to act with intention instead of impulse. Self-control is the key to mastering our lives. Without it, we become slaves to our emotions and the chaos around us. But silence offers us a different path. It teaches us that we don't have to respond to every provocation, every challenge, or every comment. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. When you master silence, you master your reactions. And when you master your reactions, you gain the power to control your destiny. Self-control doesn't come naturally to everyone, but it can be cultivated through silence. When you are silent, you learn to listen to your inner voice, which is the true source of self-discipline. It's this inner voice that guides you to make thoughtful decisions and to stay grounded in your values. So embrace silence as a tool to develop self-control. It's in the quiet moments that your true strength emerges. One of the greatest benefits of silence is the ability to reflect. It's in these quiet moments that we can truly connect with ourselves, to dig deep and ask the difficult questions. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What do I want to achieve? The noise of the world often drowns out these important questions, but silence clears the path for us to listen to the answers. When we take the time to reflect in silence, we open the door to self-discovery. We begin to understand what truly matters, what aligns with our deepest values, and what we want to create in our lives. It's through this process of introspection that we uncover our purpose. Your purpose isn't something that is handed to you by others, it's something that emerges from within you, from the quiet space of your mind. Purpose is not found in the hustle and bustle and constant action, but in the stillness where you can connect with your inner truth. In silence, you find clarity and direction. Without it, you may wander aimlessly, following the crowd, chasing things that don't bring you fulfillment. But with silence, you are able to tune out the distractions and hear the call of your purpose. It's in these moments of reflection that you align your actions with your deepest desires. So take the time to be silent and listen to your heart. Your purpose is waiting to be discovered in the stillness. Many of us are familiar with physical strength, but mental strength is just as important, if not more so. Silence plays a vital role in developing mental fortitude. It's easy to be swept up in the noise, the chaos, and the distractions of everyday life, but it's in silence that you build the mental resilience needed to face challenges head-on. Mental strength comes from within. It's not something that can be seen or measured on the outside, but it's something that is built through discipline, focus, and the ability to remain calm in the face of adversity. Silence is the perfect training ground for this. When you quiet your mind, you begin to strengthen your inner resolve. You learn to stay grounded no matter what is happening around you. In silence, you have the opportunity to reflect on your thoughts and emotions, to process them, and to take control. You don't let the external world dictate your reactions. Instead, you find your center and remain steadfast in your purpose. Silence is the foundation of mental strength because it allows you to focus on what truly matters. It eliminates distractions, sharpens your mind, and helps you become more resilient. So if you want to build mental strength, embrace silence. It's through stillness that your inner power is cultivated. Humility is a trait that many people struggle to maintain, especially in a world that often rewards ego and self-promotion. But silence is a powerful tool for practicing humility. When you embrace silence, you allow others to speak and share their thoughts, which shows respect for them. Silence teaches us that we don't always need to be the loudest voice in the room to be heard. In fact, sometimes the most impactful individuals are those who speak the least but listen the most. By remaining silent, we become more aware of others and their needs. We listen with empathy and respond with humility. It's through silence that we can humble ourselves and stay grounded in the present moment. The loudest people are often the ones trying to prove something, but silence doesn't need to prove anything. Silence is a reflection of inner strength, of knowing that your actions speak louder than words. When we practice silence, we learn to remain humble and stay true to ourselves. Humility comes from within, and silence is a direct path to cultivating it. It's not about diminishing yourself, it's about elevating others and letting your actions speak for you. So practice silence not just for personal growth, but to stay grounded in humility. It's through this quiet strength that you will find true power. Patience is one of the most important virtues for achieving long-term success, yet it's also one of the most difficult to master. We live in a world that demands instant gratification, where everything is available at the push of a button. But silence teaches us the value of patience. When we are silent, we are forced to wait, to pause, and to reflect before we act. This stillness helps us develop patience, which is essential for achieving lasting success. Success doesn't come overnight. It's built over time through hard work, persistence, and the ability to endure the challenges that come your way. Patience allows you to stay focused on your goals without being distracted by immediate rewards. Silence is the perfect environment for cultivating this patience because it gives you the space to focus on the bigger picture. When you remain silent, you learn to trust the process and wait for the right moment to act. You no longer feel the pressure to rush, to compete, or to chase after fleeting successes. Instead, you patiently build toward your dreams one step at a time. So embrace silence as a practice in patience. It's through quiet perseverance that true success is achieved. Success doesn't come from random action, it comes from careful planning and strategic thinking. Silence is a powerful ally when it comes to developing a clear plan. In today's fast-paced world, there are constant distractions pulling us in every direction, making it difficult to focus on what truly matters. But in silence, we find the clarity we need to think strategically, to plan effectively, and to set clear goals for the future. The best plans are made in the quiet moments when your mind is calm and focused. It's in silence that you can evaluate your options, weigh the pros and cons, and decide on the best course of action. When you remove the noise, you can see the bigger picture and plan accordingly. In the silence, you can map out your steps, anticipate challenges, and create a path forward. But this requires discipline. It's easy to be swept away by the demands of the world, but silence gives you the strength to stay focused and stay on course. Successful people are not the ones who act impulsively, but those who take the time to plan carefully and execute strategically. So use silence as a tool for planning and strategy. It's in the quiet moments that your vision becomes clear and your plans begin to take shape. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It's the key to maintaining focus and taking consistent action toward your dreams. But discipline is not something that comes naturally to everyone. It's something that must be cultivated. And silence is one of the most effective ways to develop it. When you embrace silence, you give yourself the space to stay disciplined. Silence allows you to focus on your goals without distractions. It helps you resist the temptation to procrastinate, to give in to distractions, or to make excuses. Discipline requires the ability to control your impulses, and silence gives you the opportunity to do just that. In the quiet moments, you can reflect on your actions and make adjustments to stay on track. You can remind yourself of your goals, your purpose, and your vision. Silence helps you develop the inner strength needed to stay committed to your path, even when the going gets tough. It's in the stillness that you build the habits that lead to success. So practice silence as a tool for developing discipline. It's through quiet consistency that you will achieve everything you set your mind to. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in talk. We live in an age where everyone has an opinion and everyone wants to be heard. But the truth is, actions speak louder than words. Silence teaches us the importance of focusing on actions rather than words. It's easy to make promises, to talk about what you're going to do, but it's much harder to follow through. Silence forces us to focus on what truly matters. What we do, not what we say. In the quiet moments, we can reflect on our actions and measure them against our goals. It's easy to get distracted by the noise, to be swept up in the chatter, but silence keeps us grounded in what is important. When you focus on your actions, you stay aligned with your purpose. You stop getting sidetracked by empty words and start making real progress toward your dreams. Silence doesn't need to explain itself, it simply is. And through your actions, you will let your success do the talking. Communication is the key to building strong relationships, but it's not just about speaking, it's about listening. Silence allows us to truly listen, to understand others, and to build deep, meaningful connections. In today's world, we are so used to talking that we forget the importance of silence in communication. True listening happens in silence. When we allow others to speak without interrupting, we create a space where they feel heard and valued. Silence enables us to understand the emotions and intentions behind words. It allows us to give people the time and attention they need to express themselves fully. Strong relationships are built on mutual respect, and silence is a powerful way to show that respect. When we are silent, we communicate that we are present, that we care, and that we are willing to listen without judgment. So practice silence in your relationships. Give others the space to speak, and you will build stronger, more lasting connections. Emotional healing requires space to process our feelings. In silence, we can begin to heal. Whether it's grief, anger, fear, or disappointment, silence allows us to confront our emotions and work through them. Often, we are so caught up in trying to numb our pain or avoid difficult emotions that we forget the power of silence. Silence is not an absence of emotion, it's a space for processing it. It allows us to sit with our feelings, to reflect on their cause, and to decide how we want to respond. Emotional healing doesn't happen through distractions or avoidance, it happens through acceptance and reflection. In silence, we have the chance to release what no longer serves us and to heal from past wounds. So when you are facing emotional pain, turn to silence. It's through stillness that we find the strength to heal and move forward. Fear is one of the greatest barriers to success, yet silence can be a powerful antidote. When we are afraid, we tend to react impulsively, either by avoiding the fear or by trying to push through it too quickly. But silence offers a different approach. It allows us to face our fears head-on, without the noise of panic or distraction. In the silence, we can examine our fear, understand where it comes from, and determine if it is valid. We can ask ourselves, what is the worst that could happen? How would we respond to it? Fear often thrives in the unknown, but silence brings clarity. When we sit with our fear in silence, it loses its power over us. We realize that fear is just an emotion, not an obstacle. And once we understand it, we can move past it with confidence. Silence helps us confront our fears with courage, and in doing so, we become stronger and more resilient. So if you want to overcome fear, embrace silence. It's in the quiet moments that you will find the strength to face your challenges. In the end, a life of peace and fulfillment is not something that comes from external circumstances. It comes from within. Silence is the path to inner peace. It's in these quiet moments that we connect with our true selves and understand what brings us joy. Peace is not the absence of noise or chaos. It is the presence of stillness within our hearts. And it's in this stillness that we find fulfillment. When we embrace silence, we learn to appreciate the present moment, to savor the little things, and to let go of the unnecessary distractions that keep us from living fully. A life of peace and fulfillment is one that is grounded in silence, in reflection, and in connection with our inner truth. So, if you want to create a life of peace, take time for silence every day. It is through this quiet practice that you will find the fulfillment you've been searching for. As we come to the end of this journey through the power of silence, I hope you realize just how transformative it can be. Silence is not something to fear or avoid, but something to embrace. It's in the silence that you connect with your true self, find your purpose, and unlock the potential to live a life of fulfillment. As you move forward, remember that silence is not an absence, but a presence of peace, clarity, and strength. Use silence to reflect, heal, grow, and take action towards the life you want to create. When you embrace the power of silence, you will find that it is not empty at all, it is full of endless possibilities. So take time for silence every day and watch your life transform. Thank you for listening, and may you find peace in the quiet moments ahead.